Caitlin Clark just became the first player to trade her coach. In a comic turn of events at the WNBA All-Star Game Draft, Caitlin Clark finally got her revenge on head coach Cheryl Reeve as she swapped her team's head coach for her opponent's team's head coach, and this had the whole world of the WNBA howling. It's probably for the better, seeing that Coach Reeve and Clark never got along. She probably would have sabotaged the whole team's success just because she hates Caitlin Clark. Guess Cheryl now understands how Clark must have felt about Paris.
I think we've done enough talking. It sounds like it is time that we get this draft underway.
As the WNBA All-Star Game approached, the two competing teams, Team Clark led by Caitlin herself and Team Collier led by Napheesa Collier, were officially unveiled to the public, and it was announced that Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve would coach Clark's team and New York Liberty coach Sandy Brondello would coach Collier's team. Immediately, the coaches were announced. There were concerns by fans and players about the potential of Clark playing under her notorious hater, Cheryl Reeve. The same coach that robbed her of the opportunity to represent Team USA at the Olympics, and both women have had some tension between them ever since Clark began popping on the scene. However, Caitlin Clark had some robbing of her own to do. Caitlin Clark and Napheesa Collier met on live television on July 8th to pick their rosters for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game when the announcement was made. Near the end of the show, Clark looked straight at Collier and, obliged to what the fans were already asking for, she asked Collier to swap head coaches. Unheard of in the WNBA, Collier obliged Clark on the spot, and her team took Reeve while Clark's team got coach Sandy Brondello, who has led the New York Liberty to back-to-back championship finals.
Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina. So therefore, maybe Stewie wants to come on over to my team.
Whoa.
Let me know. Fee, you want to give me Stewie?
We have breaking news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star Game.
Despite the deal going through on the sport, it is not a common thing to happen. The WNBA draft rules make provision for player trades, but none for coach trades. Clark brushed that off, saying the captains had talked it over and they both liked the idea. Moments later, the league's social media team posted a trade alert confirming the switch, so the change is official. Just imagine Cheryl watching ESPN and seeing Clark break WNBA rules just to avoid playing under her. That would have been quite a stormy coach-player experience.
I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it.
Ooh.
It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule.
But maybe it all works out for both Reeve and Clark, as Reeve now gets to coach her regular Lynx star Collier. And Clark, in turn, gets to play under a coach she greatly admires. Despite Collier hinting that the extra chemistry she shares with Coach Reeve might tip the game in her favor, Clark dismissed it and called her new matchup with Brondello good vibes. Not only did Clark rob Coach Reeve of a championship, but she also took her out of her team in the same week. This swap is happening not long after the Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Reeve's team, was blown out by no other team than Clark's Indiana Fever to snatch the Commissioner's Cup. Must suck to be Cheryl Reeves right now, getting beaten twice by your arch nemesis in the same week in front of millions of people.
Shot, no. Ball tapped around. Aaliyah gets it, finds Cunningham. Left corner three. Oh, yeah! For the lead! It's a 14-0 Fever run!
For Clark, the swap is also about building the best possible situation for her on the court during the All-Star Game. Apart from swapping coaches, she also selected her Fever teammates, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell early, then grabbed stars Sabrina Ionescu and Asia Wilson to join her team. Collier, on the other hand, countered with close friends Brianna Stewart and Alicia Gray.
With the first pick in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft, Team Clark selects.
I know this will be super surprising to everybody watching, but I'm going with my teammate, Aaliyah Boston, baby.
Back to Coach Reeve, it turns out the feeling was mutual. Reeve hasn't been shy about questioning the hype around Clark, and it was clear they weren't going to click as a team. Caitlin's decision to switch coaches was bold, but honestly, she wasn't the only one who didn't want to team up with someone she clashed with. More than a few fans were also displeased with the partnership, and social media was set on fire with fans' disapproval and complaints. A user on X commented, "This system is dumb. Either bring in someone from outside the league like last year, or let the captains pick their coach." Another user posted, "Y'all messy as hell for this." Why not let the captains pick the coach or let the fans vote for the coaches? We don't care about the advantages, give Clark Brondello. And Clark made that happen. So why all the tension between Clark and Reeve? Their history dates back even before the controversial Olympics snub. Caitlin Clark is not a player new to hate, from the media, from rival fans, and even other players. But the one person who takes the crown of biggest CC hater is Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. The 4-time WNBA Coach of the Year has been very vocal about her dislike for Caitlin Clark and her game since Caitlin stepped foot in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark might make you want to lose every game, but not here, not in Minnesota.
While legends like WNBA All-Star Chini Ogwumike, 2-time WNBA MVP and analyst Candace Parker, ESPN analysts like Stephen A. Smith have publicly praised Caitlin Clark since her NCAA days with LSU, Cheryl Reeve has been very critical of CC's game all through her rookie year in the league and hasn't showed any signs of joining the Clark wagon anytime soon. Guess she's just not impressed. At first, it felt like Coach Reeve, like several other players and coaches in the WNBA, were concerned about what seemed like media favoritism towards Caitlin Clark. The Lynx coach once voiced out her displeasure over the lack of coverage for a Lynx preseason game in a frustrated X post. She called out the lack of broadcasting availability for games that don't include star rookie with the use of hashtags.
That particular situation had nothing to do with Caitlin Clark and had everything to do with a WNBA social media post that promoted one preseason game.
While this could be excused as a concern for the whole league and equal treatment of players, even though Clark is obviously the face of the league, on another occasion, Reeve took another more direct jab at Clark. Ahead of a WNBA matchup between Indiana and Minnesota last season, Cheryl Reeve was asked about the potential of having so many Fever fans crowd the Minnesota Stadium in support of rising star Caitlin Clark. Her answer was short, but not so sweet. I don't give two ES. Here, it's clear that she was hating on CC. Cheryl Reeve even had issues with Clark coming into the league. She hates how much three-pointers are the focal point of Clark's game and wishes she would focus more on fundamentals. Following a selection where Indiana had 3 All-Stars despite a middling record and the Lynx had 2, though they led in standings, Reeve said, "I don't know why only Fee and Courtney are All-Stars when teams at the top get a minimum of 3, often 4. She clearly was hinting that Clark's hype influenced the voting. It's not news that some media personalities, Clark and her teammates, think she is widely targeted by other players in the league. Cheryl Reeve is one of those who debunk that theory. I don't think it's about star players. I get the nature of Caitlin Clark. Everyone is watching her." She argued that the scrutiny surrounding Clark is due to her popularity and not a personal beef against her. One occasion that really showcased how much Reeve is unimpressed by Clark's game is when she faced heavy criticism for leaving Clark off the 2024 U.S. Olympic roster. Although she is the head coach of Team USA, Reeve insisted she did not control the final selections. Nobody is buying that story.
You know good and damn well with or without Caitlin Clark, they gonna probably win the gold again. That's not what this conversation is about. This is about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid.
Not even the media was buying it. USA Today journalist Christine Brennan went all out on Cheryl Reeve for what she considered a poor decision, saying, "What a comment this is," said and wrote it more than a month ago and will say it again from here in Paris. USA Basketball's snub of Caitlin Clark was the worst player selection decision I've seen in my 40 years covering the Olympics. What a mistake. Brennan's colleague, Michael Terry, tried to reach out to Reeve and USA Basketball for comments. Neither party was willing to add clarification. The veteran coach was also accused of publicly criticizing Clark on social media and in interviews. Brennan ripped Reeve for the Clark snub. How on earth is that okay with the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic community and the USA Basketball team that its coach is actively tweeting and going on social media about someone who is in the selection pool? Brennan asked on The Adam Gold Show. When the Olympic team returned from Paris 2024 with yet another gold medal, it almost seemed like Reeve's decision was justified, and the team didn't need Caitlin Clark after all. But NBA legacy media was still on her head about the decision to leave out Clark. Ratings for Team USA were way lower than expected.
She's crazy, whatever. Well, I was there. I've been there. I covered it. I've seen the lack of interest.
And the team's on-court dominance was not as good if they had Clark on the floor. Analysts pointed out that while the team played well, there were moments they struggled offensively and lacked perimeter shooting, areas where Clark excels. But in all, Caitlin Clark just got her revenge on her biggest hater on national TV. But the story can even be better if she gets to win against Reeve's team on July 19th. Do you think Caitlin Clark can complete her revenge story by beating the Cheryl Reeve coached Team Collier in the All-Star game? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.